you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeling your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side. I'm done, I'm gone, so don't run from the truth. You're lost, now I know you played me just like a flute. I still can't believe you had me on a leash, cutting all my teeth with all the lies you bring. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. 'Cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Today is August 19th, 2024, 5:40 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Good to see my little pearls. So good to see you. Good to see you, Dumpling. Thank you so much for 2 continuous months. Appreciate you, my dear Sebastian, and that we are. You cannot hear me. Uh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me? Want to make sure. It says you can. All right, Holly, thank you so much for 2 months as well, my dear. Really do appreciate that. Okay. All right. Yeah, good. Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you, brown eyed girl. Hello, my dear. Good to see you. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Wouldn't it be, I think, grand if one morning we would hear news that Sebastian is found safe and sound? That would be nothing but a blessing, number one, but it would be honestly a miracle, to be quite honest with you. But there's always hope, JJ. There's always hope until we know. But you think about that. Why wouldn't a mother be searching, right? Why wouldn't a mother be searching? Hey, Deanna Lynn, Holly, SL, Voices, Second to None, Susan, I see you, Rita, Grace, Dumpling, Misty Moonlight. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. This isn't our first rodeo, but people have been kept behind closed doors for years at a time. Can we address the TL text messages? Horrible new anti-Seth narrative going on. TL text messages. I actually don't know what that is. I apologize. If someone wants to explain it to me, sure. I'll give you my opinion on it. What I can, for sure. Nally Cat, thank you so much for the support, my dear. Thank you. Means a lot to me. Nally Cat, thank you so much. Okay, yeah, you can text it to me. And that is true as well, KB. You don't search for something that's not lost, that isn't missing. No, Annie, you're right. You're right. How do we know she's not searching? You would see a person on the news wanting to clear up rumors. So that's you would generally see that, in my opinion. I mean, it's just abnormal, in my opinion. Nerdy girl, thank you so much, my dear. 4 months, really do appreciate that. Yes, please hit that thumbs up. Thumbs up. I'm a little tired. Well, okay. People saying that Seth left for 2 or 3 hours. You couldn't that would be virtually impossible for him to leave. I don't understand, how the Katie, of course, Annie, of course. I mean, I don't need a neck, we don't expect an echo chamber in here. We can all agree to disagree on things. My audience, I don't ask them to agree with me on everything, just hear me out, and if it, works for you, great, and if it doesn't, don't. Um, no problem. It's a valid question, and I understand. Um, but you have Katie and even Chris saying that Seth did nothing. Yeah, please don't put any uh please don't put any names in the chat of any other creators unless it's something positive. That's really the only rule that I have in this chat. Just because someone is saying something that is wrong, in my opinion, I don't like to speak ill of any other creator generally. You know, I I'll disagree with the creator, whoever said that, but I'm not going to speak ill, I guess you could say. Nerdy girl, thank you. Thank you, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Holly, my sweet Holly, thank you so much for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, please give our sweet Holly a big, big thank you. But first, we've got to take a train ride. So buckle up and beep, beep, mother chickens.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
To the lesser fight, my body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and
Thank you so much, dear Holly, for gifting 5 new pearl necklaces. Again, if you received one of those, please thank our beloved Holly. Your applications have been approved. Congratulations. Thank you again, Holly. Tina, thank you so very much, my dear. Don't care what people say. Seth loves his son. He is innocent. By Seth Rogers. I agree. I mean, I support Seth. I support Seth in knowing that the man didn't do anything. Is willing to take the questions, even still. Still looking for a son and continuing. And again, does that mean I agree with everything? No. But as far as the man, being in the disappearance, BHB got another from CP. Well, I don't know. She was yapping at me about me last night, so she can just keep yapping. That's all I can tell her. She'll yap about the whole world, I guess, by the time it's over. Just absolute BS. BS. I don't know about the woman. I don't know about her, to be quite honest with you. I appreciate that she supports Seth and all of that. But I gave her and I disagree immensely on Trevor, and I will stand where I stand, in support of Trevor, because someone sent me a clip. She is right. I have been out in the field with Betty, but I've also been out in the field with Trevor, and I know how they both operate, and I know Trevor is got a heart of gold, and that's all I'm going to say. He's got a heart of gold. Disagreeing with someone should be fine. I don't know. I'm not going to say too much on it because it's not really, yeah, our Taylor, and I stand where I stand. I don't know of many, oh God, when I don't even know how old he was, that gave $1,000 to the Summer Wells Fund when he was just a young guy. Shelly, Justin, if you listen to Vinny's show last night, at the end it says why they have not cleared SR. That's what we're going to listen to. We're going to listen to it. And this is the thing. People can want Seth to be cleared till the cows come home. I want Seth to be cleared as well. But my want is not going to change anything. And that's just the truth of it, folks. That is just the truth of it. They are not going to clear Seth. They're not. I'm just going to tell you. Everyone in true crime that has done multiple cases in Tennessee knows that they don't clear people. They're not going to clear anyone. Yeah, I do too, Wist. I do too. Yeah, Laura. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, even if they, and this is the thing. I supported Betty whenever she went, and I still support her. I support anyone who goes out there and puts out flyers. I support anyone going out and searching. Misty, it doesn't, I always say, I try to take everything individually as it is. And there's that, but they just don't clear people. And we have, been all over Tennessee and with different cases. And that's just the way the TBI works. Yeah. And Trevor Lee was the one that brought attention to Sebastian Rogers' case when nobody, literally nobody, was speaking about this case. He was. He supported Seth long before I did or anyone else. Bullhorn Betty, anybody. And that's just it. That's just it. That is just a fact. I don't know why everyone thinks if you disagree with them on one thing, it's got to be a breakup. I mean, I really feel that's the problem with like our culture now. You disagree with something on one thing and it's got to be this breakup of hatred and all of that. Well, I mean, if that's the case, you'll be divorced, 6 times, 5 times, whatever times, right? So you're going to disagree with people you like. There's highs and lows in every relationship. Doesn't matter. There's just highs and lows in every relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it is your husband, your wife, your kids after they get older, all of that. So I mean, I've got the text messages that she has sent me the night, I think our relationship kind of came to a halt the night that we were on with Smiley, and Seth came up there, and I was furious at Seth that night when he said that stuff about Trevor. But I, no, she wasn't. I mean, I'm not going to say she was bashing me last night, but she didn't say she was claiming a lot of it. I don't know. Let's just listen to it. Boy, I'm getting way off track here. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Was it this one? I don't even know which channel. What channel was it on? Let me see if I can find it. Being able to record virtually. And she's like, how many channels does she have? She may have taken it down. I don't know. How many channels does she got? DJ, put that record. If it hasn't been proven to be a fact, it's not the truth, but only opinions. That is exactly right. It's clear the way. It clears the way for the truth. That is exactly right, DJ. That is exactly right. There's a lot of opinions, and nobody knows exactly what happened, to Sebastian. Okay, I think I found it. All right. This is where she says,
$50. Probably why you guys don't believe anybody's guilty. Except, we all see how felons, and these people are. Most of these people are felons. And then I was sitting there talking because
I'm not a felon.
Last night, Justin For All was on a panel, and he's like, "Oh my God, so the only reason I didn't like this because how you guys treated Trev Time." I kept trying to tell Justin, Trev Time is not the same that he was when he was on the Summer Wells case. Ever since he got with Chloe, he's changed. Because you've never heard this man be disrespectful. I have never seen Trev Time be disrespectful to anybody but Seth. And even when he was told to back off, he wanted to come at Seth like a cougar. That's not the Trev Time we used to know.
Listen, Trev Time is the same person we used to know and still know. Just because he disagrees with something doesn't mean he's not the same Trev Time. I talk to him all the time.
And you know what? It really upsets me because, Justin For All, always about the, I'm a loyal friend. Well, he worked next to me. He rode in cars with me. Him and I had a personal conversation. He personally knows me.
And I personally know Trevor. Okay. And I'm one of those people. I usually never end a relationship. Like, I usually can almost work. I try to work through just about anything. But when someone says quit, they're done. Like if they get mad at me or whatever and they just say they're done. I am absolutely done. And that is the night that I got the crazy message from BHB that I don't know about T-Rev or anything like that. This is Trevor Lee. And she told me to fix the behavior. Okay.
He's done that with Trev Time, but I guarantee it probably wasn't near as many times as he has met me personally and has worked with me personally.
About the same.
You know what I'm saying? So obviously he wasn't a very loyal friend to me. When I was trying,
I never said a stinking word about the woman. Ever said one word. I never said one word about the woman. She's the one that messaged me at 6:00 in the morning and said, I've unmodded you. I've unfriended you. I've left all of your groups. I've kicked you out of all of mine.
to explain to him what Trevor was doing. And still doing, by the way. This professional, oh my gosh, he's such a sweet guy. Well, sweet guys don't act the way he's acting. Okay.
What, that he disagreed with something? It was just a disagreement. It was just a disagreement. I mean,
Okay? They're not constantly always poking something. Every time there's anything, even the news, you see Trev Times BS childish comment attached to it.
I would say Trevor is probably one of the most mature people in this community. He can have a conversation with you without screaming, cursing, belittling, calling names. So I think that takes a lot of maturity, actually. I think that really takes a lot of maturity. I've never seen Trevor act anything like that, like she's saying here. Like she's behaving.
And I told Trev Time at this time, I said, you're going to ruin your reputation over these people.
Can I get an audible laugh? Gonna rule. Yeah. Okay.
And then we find out Chloe is too busy vetting the volunteers. Why does she need to vet volunteers?
I don't even know.
Did it?
I mean, you would think that Chloe and Trevor are like sewn at the hip, like lost at birth from each other, the way they make it sound. I would say Trevor is not that.
You got a 3-time felon that they're working with, but they're vetting volunteers. You see what I'm saying? This was the way that they were wasting time and resources.
Who was the 3-time felon? Does anyone know? I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? This was the way that they were wasting time and resources on crap that had nothing to do with Sebastian's case or getting more and more people out there to help search. They were throwing monkey wrenches every time you turned around. And to hear somebody say that they're mad at Seth and Tony because of it, clearly did not know.
She is obsessed with JLR. She's obsessed. Move the fuck.
What they were talking about, because I guarantee if they saw how Trev Time behaved behind those scenes that they didn't see, they would have been appalled by his behavior, much like I was. Much like I was. And when I saw people not understanding what was really going on and siding with him, it made me very upset, because these are people that I always thought would do their due diligence before they opened their pipe hole.
Well, I opened my pie hole. Fine.
But as we're learning, that's not the case here on YouTube. Just like last night.
I didn't see shit.
Some stupid creator decides to scream fire without doing your due diligence, but it really was for attention, right? And then another creator, Fat Mal from Canada.
So I guess she's saying Brittany did that for attention, like she knew what's his face Tony was going to come up there. He hasn't been on in ages. I mean, where do you dig that out of your earth? Where do you dig that? Thank you, Meanie Girl Meanie. Thank you. I mean, I just think the heat's getting to her. Something's wrong. You know, no, Brittany she couldn't have known. She couldn't have known. And I'm glad he came up. I appreciate him coming up. Peach cobbler. Oh yes, now the haters are saying that this was all planned between her and Tony and Seth. Oh, for fuck's sake, let him talk. Who cares? That's just crazy. Said he can't recall a case where parents were said to be cleared. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna get to that. I wanna show you guys this. There, and this is the thing. If they clear one set of, thank you, Jen. If they clear, yeah, every creator, someone's not gonna like you. It's just the nature of it. It's just the nature of it. Not every creator will like you. You're not gonna like every creator. Some people just don't like you for whatever reason, and yes, onward and upward. So this is it. I don't think that I almost know that they're not going to clear Seth. It's not a dig at Seth. You guys know I support Seth. As far as the man didn't do anything. He was at work. You can't get a better alibi than being in a dang jail, right? Like, it would be so easy to, I mean, if shit, it would have been so easy to, find Seth if he left for 3 hours. So anyway, but Vinny talks about this, and I want to cover some of this. So let's get it started right here.
She went to his room to get him ready for school, but Sebastian was gone. She searched the house, and he was nowhere to be found. Sebastian's stepdad, Chris Proudfoot, was not home, and Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, was at work about 45 minutes away. Police responded and began trying to figure out what happened. That was February 26, 2020.
I don't even understand, to be quite honest with you, why just thinking about that, I don't even understand why people would think Seth is a suspect. I mean, he technically is a suspect, but I mean, like, a leading suspect because of, like I just said, where he was at, right? Chris and Katie saying that he didn't do anything. And not only that, he's working, doing the interviews, and he is the one that did a lie detector test on national television, which is not what we can say about CP or KP, right? It's not just not it's not what they've done.
And as the days, weeks, and months have passed, still no sign of Sebastian, no sign of foul play, and no answers about what happened. Did someone harm Sebastian, or did he just walk away? We're searching for answers as we investigate.
Now, just a question. I just want to know how you guys feel. Again, it doesn't have to be an echo chamber in here. But I feel like if Sebastian was going to run away or walk away, that he would have done it when either Seth was at work or Katie was at work. Because remember, he spent time alone of the evenings as well. Right? He had a good day. I don't think he would leave in the night either, personally. And I know if he didn't have any shoes on, he'd have
the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
From the beginning, this case has not made a lot of sense because of the lack of evidence, the lack of leads. I want you to take a look, though, at the original.
Come on. Hit the thumbs up. We only got 446. If you hit the thumbs up, we have a chicken party and you get 5 years of good luck. Just telling you, 5 years.
Amber Alert in this case, because I think it's significant. The Amber Alert went out, issued on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
How are you doing, Summer?
Sebastian is a 15-year-old white male, 5'5" tall, 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sebastian was last seen on February 26th, 2024, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. February 26th. That's the last time he has been seen. So what's going on right now? You know, we profile missing children all the time, every night. So my question right now is anyone still searching for Sebastian? Let me bring in my special guest, someone I know is still searching. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, is with us, and also
someone he knows is still searching. Someone he knows is still searching. And like I said, you guys know I'm not like a huge fan of Tony, but I can respect that he took the questions. I can respect that he communicated with me in a respectful manner, and I respect him that he obviously gives some sort of comfort or help with Seth. You know, take things as they are. It's not
joining us, the Rogers family spokesperson, Tony Mathis.
I think he did.
Thank you both for being here. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and the opportunity to speak about Sebastian. Seth, let me begin with you. Is anyone still searching for your missing son?
I am. I have a private investigator that's still working on it. She conducts her searches in private. She has her own volunteer base. We're not going to stop until we find it.
Let me ask you this, Seth. Outside of what you are doing, is this search still active? Let's talk about law enforcement.
From my understanding, law enforcement is still searching.
Yes. Faye, that's, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of us have been, our eyes have been very much on Gallatin, but also, it's someplace, is he going to have enough time to get there? Right. I'll be honest with you. People say 100% that CP, these private investigators, private detectives, whatever they are, said that CP was there at 5:30 in the morning. I want to know, I would like to know, why did he get in trouble? Why did CP get in trouble right when Sebastian went missing? Was he not there? Was he not was he late? I don't even know. We don't even know where he was. You know what I mean? We don't even know where CP was. Was he at work? If so, what time? And he says he's got Life 360. He could clear that up in 3 seconds. Why not?
They're doing it privately as well. They're checking in on tips when they come in. If we get tips, we pass them on to them. Same time we get them.
And how is that part going with tips? Are people still providing information when they come across things? And what are your thoughts about?
We still get information.
Terry Lynn is looking her butt off. Silver on the screen, he's looking.
We still get emails every day. We have a tip site that is up. I put that up. It's a valid tip site for anybody who wants to email or call, wants to be anonymous or whatnot.
Tony, I wanted to bring you in the conversation. This is a difficult situation. And I understand the onslaught of public attention that this has gotten. And sometimes that's a big positive in keeping Sebastian's face in the public and getting people to know who he is and think about him. And if they see something, hopefully say something. But obviously there can be downsides as well. How is all of this publicity, from your perspective, impacting the search for Sebastian?
Just like we're questioning Chris, or just, was he Seth was not gone 2 or 3 hours while he was at work. There is no way he could be gone from prisoners like that.
Well, we don't really believe that any of the media attention, social media attention, any of that is really going to impact what law enforcement's doing one way or another. It does impact the father, that I represent, Seth. We thank all the creators out there that continue to keep Sebastian's name out and do it in a positive way. Our message to most of the media attention, more social media than mainstream, is that, we ask that you cover the case in a positive way. If you choose not to do that and back away, that's okay too. But any positive support that we can get for Seth while he's looking for his son is a big deal for us.
And Seth, I know that during the course of all of this, there have been some potential leads that became very public, including a photograph of someone who seemed to resemble Sebastian at a rest stop in, I believe, North Carolina. How are you holding up through all of this? And where's your level of optimism right now?
I have faith. I have hope. Sebastian's alive. We just gotta find him.
Interesting, isn't it, Arnie?
There is nothing else. Just find Sebastian.
Tony, I wanted to get you in on this as well, in terms of as a family spokesperson.
Thank you, Megan.
Do you feel that there is still the same level of, I guess, commitment from everyone, the community, law enforcement, media, to make sure that anything and everything is done to find this missing child?
Well, Vinnie, I think that it's our job to keep his name out there in the community. All of our job on Seth's team, and of course I represent.
Did Nancy Grace, I can't remember, did Nancy Grace say what questions they asked Seth when that FBI polygrapher did Seth's?
Just Seth. It's all of our.
I mean, are you involved in any way? I know they asked that, and obviously said no. Any
jobs on his team to keep the community engaged. We continue to have events, have vigils, have gatherings, keep his name out there. The media, mainstream media, such as yourself and many others, have been very good and very helpful.
I mean, I just can't imagine walking up to someone, right? I can't imagine. I always try to picture myself as in real life, because people will say things over the internet that they would never say to your face. And and you asked also, we tend to think differently when we're on the internet. So I try to picture myself in real life, and I can't imagine walking up to Seth, right? Walking up to Seth and saying, I don't think you should have Tony in your life. Think about that. Think about that. I may not like Tony, but who am I? Who are any of us to say who anyone should have in anyone's life? You get what I mean? I mean, think of yourself in front of Seth saying that. It doesn't mean we have to like Tony. It just, it doesn't mean we have to like him or. If he wants him around, that's his choice.
It's very easy to get interviews if Seth feels up to doing an interview. I think the X factor for us is law enforcement. I think that the communication, it's been a bit lacking, at least as far as Seth and I are concerned.
He's not.
We don't really know what it is they're doing. We have faith. We heavily back the blue. Of course, Seth is in law enforcement. I live in Oklahoma. We strongly back the blue in my community. But, the question that I always ask that we still haven't got an answer to is,
thank you, Tammy, so
just
much.
Simply tell
very generous
Seth,
dear.
Are you any closer today to figuring out what happened to Sebastian than you were on February 26th?
And listen, that is one thing I agree with Tony on. Can you answer the question, law enforcement? Are you any closer to finding out what happened to Sebastian now than you are on the day that he went missing. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Why didn't the mother ever blame herself for not checking on him? Well, remember, she said he's a teenager, so you can imagine what he might be doing in there. What mother says that about her missing child? I don't know what the warrant was. It was just for search. We're not going to see, the probable cause to it. We're not going to be able to get our hands on that. But, in my opinion, they're not looking for a child that's safe and sound in a landfill. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's not what they're looking for, especially in another state. Also, the day they draw back the search and they say, well, Nick Barris said law enforcement is now saying they're looking at the possible sign of foul play. Instantly, they started doing interviews. That is a fact. That is a fact. No other interviews up until they started law enforcement started drawing back the search. That's when they took to doing interviews.
Quite frankly, we feel like that's a very fair and
coincidence. You be the judge.
Logical question. We have not got an answer to that.
That has to be absolutely excruciating. By the way, folks, as you watch, you'll see on the bottom.
What are these guys looking for? I don't know, Linda. People say so much stuff. Listen. We know the little bit that we know, right? The rest is really someone's opinion, right? Can they become any more obvious? I mean, I wonder about that. To me, here it feels like they're not looking for someone, but they're looking for some things, in my opinion. That's what it feels like to me. Now, they didn't do this too long. Did they find what they needed? I have no idea. Did they give up? I have no idea. In fact, they actually wasn't even going to tell. This is how secret law enforcement is. They didn't want us to know that this was going on either. Right? They didn't want us to know this was going on. And they also searched other landfills as well. They didn't want us to know this was going on. They didn't want the flashlights out there as well. So take that how you will.
On your screen, numbers and places you can contact if you have any information. Seth, how are you holding up? I'm always concerned about you. going through this. I've spoken with other parents through the years. I got a strong sense from them what it can be like. How are you holding up?
It's more like 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. You know, it doesn't really seem like it's been 5 months. It's just.
Do you think law enforcement thinks he was really kidnapped? He doesn't remember. Does anyone remember CP commenting if they had money, he would be back? Something like that odd. Yes, it was a very odd statement. Again, we only know what law enforcement has said. However, my opinion, which is purely an opinion, I do not think law enforcement thinks that Sebastian was kidnapped in the least. He either got out without any cameras, any footprints, any scent, any sort of evidence, which I don't know how that would happen, or there is someone else, person or persons involved. It is really that simple. It's really that simple. And, you know, hearing all the professionals, former law enforcement, current law enforcement that's not on the case, they all, that I have seen at least, say that something stinks in this, because a child doesn't walk out of the house and there's nothing, especially an autistic child who doesn't have a coat on and doesn't have any shoes.
You lose track of time. I mean, all you're doing is thinking about the next place to go look, what the next thing needs to be done, and just trying to stay positive, trying to stay focused on finding my son and what's the next step to do.
What's been the big...
I feel really bad with Seth right there. I feel really bad for the man. He looks absolutely exhausted. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine, you know, being at work, doing the things that you do, you know, just trying to survive, and you worked 12 hours and you get off and you're exhausted, and then you hear that your child is missing, and you probably, I'm sure, haven't had one good night's sleep in nearly 6 months. That's really bad.
I mean, all you're doing is thinking about the next place to go look, what the next thing needs to be done, and just trying to stay positive, trying to stay focused on finding my son and what's the next step to do.
Right.
What's been the biggest frustration for you so far in the search?
Not getting much in terms of information wise.
I appreciate Vinny doing this. Hold on, we have a late one. Grandma of 4 to the office, please. You're being paged. Grandma of 4 to the page. We need a late slip for Grandma of 4. my dear mods, Seth has tried to reach out to KP, and that's exactly right. Think about that DNA. Think about that. He's trying to reach out to the mother, right? The mother of his child. You know, that's a bond that should be unbroken in that sense. You created this child together. There is two people that should have the best interest of Sebastian always. And she hasn't spoken to him at all. Hey, Lil Red.
The last thing that I was really informed of by the sheriff's office is they don't have anything stating that he left the house. And that's pretty much, you know, that's it. But obviously he's not there. Pretty much they don't have anything stating that he left the house.
That's the last thing law enforcement has told Seth. They don't have anything of him, meaning Sebastian, leaving the house.
That's pretty much, you know, that's it. But obviously he's...
We know it's not possible to disappear. It's just not possible to disappear. Right? He went in the house in a car. And how did he get out? If he didn't walk out. Bogey, I agree. Why isn't Seth cleared? That's ridiculous. I agree with you. I wish they would clear Seth, but I'm telling you, they're not going to. And it is for it, in my opinion, and I can't speak, none of us can speak for authorities, but just seen what I've seen in true crime, if they're working a case and someone else in a friend or family that is close could be involved, especially parents, another parent, the other ones are going to be like, well, why haven't you cleared me? Right? Why haven't you cleared me? And then that's going to make more people, to be quite honest with you, go on CP and KP. And, you know, they want them to also, you know, be probably as calm as possible. Law enforcement doesn't want them to know that maybe they're perhaps watching them close as they are.
Not there, or else we wouldn't be looking for it. You know, there's no sightings. There's nothing. Just one poof. Things just don't make sense. I mean, we're talking about, first of all, we're talking about a male child that left his house with nothing. A teenager that left the house with nothing. No phone, no switch, possibly no shoes, no backpack. I mean, completely unprepared. That's
no money.
It's not how he leaves the house to go somewhere with me. I don't expect him to leave anywhere without his phone and way of communication in case something happens. It's just too much doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, stand by, stay with us. When we come back, we have another question to ask tonight.
We're trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It is not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this.
I don't know what it is about her, but I just don't.
The parents have been cooperative throughout at the beginning of the investigation. They have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them.
That's TBI talking about the case of missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. So parents are cooperating. Now, his situation, his parents aren't together anymore. So his mom, he has a stepfather, and he has a dad, and they were all in the same area when all of this was happening, the same general area. But I want to play you something, which was an interview that was done with Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot. Her and her husband sat down with the YouTube channel Chronicles of Olivia, and she explained the last time that she saw Sebastian.
He said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. We went to bed.
When did he say this? When did he say this? When is the last time? Did he come out of his room? Sounds like the Wells case. Yeah. I also know, yes, throughout the beginning of the investigation, words are, especially with law enforcement, you have to take every single word individually. They don't speak like normal people. Yes. What time was that? What time was that? Maybe if Seth talks to KP, he may know her actions. That's exactly why. I mean, tell me you can't read your ex or someone you've been, you know, you've made a child with or attempted to make a child with.
He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And
I'm sorry. I believe, in my opinion, that right there is a lie, a flat out lie, in my opinion. I can't imagine KP there saying the words, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. First of all, she was on the phone allegedly with CP, right? He is a dictator because he's a dick and he looks like a tater. That they deeply care about what he's doing. If they wanted him to go to sleep and he wasn't going to sleep, that could be a problem, right? Saying, I don't care what you're doing in there, but knock it off and go to sleep. Well, then that means you do care what he is doing and tell him to stop it and go to sleep. That makes more sense. Stop whatever you're doing in there and go to sleep. That's what we tell our kids. Stop it. Whatever you're doing in there, knock it off, go to sleep. That's what you tell your kids, right? You don't say, I don't care whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep. That doesn't make sense. Thank you for the first laugh I've had today. You're welcome, my dear. Exactly, Mona. Exactly. But she didn't mention a thud. Not in this one. Well, I think she said she heard something in there.
in there, but go to sleep. He said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. He went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, oh.
About an hour later, I heard some noise. That's what she says.
He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And
don't believe it.
About midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning.
It would have to be.
And that's when he wasn't here.
So Sebastian went to bed. They're in the same house, different parts of the house. She heard a thud noise, but didn't go to see him.
Well, that comes later. Holly, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace, my dear. Really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, my dear. If you receive that pearl necklace, please thank our beloved Holly. If you're not a pearl yet, please consider becoming a world-renowned pearl. We will be doing special, like half-hour lives, at least a few days a week.
What was going on with that alleged thud noise, and who was with him? Was there anyone with him at that moment? Or, bringing me to my next question, was Sebastian's mother?
Well, like I was saying last night, she's like, Katie says she was sleepy, she was about to sleep, and she was studying and all that. And I was like, oh, maybe she meant a sleep study. She was doing a sleep study at the house. That's what she was doing, y'all.
The last person to see him. Was she the last one? Was there someone else that came to the house that night? Or is there some other story? Our guests are still with us. Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, and Tony Mathis, the family spokesperson. Seth, from your perspective, I know you've listened to every potential piece of information that's been available in this case, that's been made available. To me, that...
I'll look that up. I wish we could get the FBI agent that testified in Gannon's case for Letitia. Let me take a screenshot of that. I'll look at that.
Thud noise, I've always thought about that, what that could have been if it happened, right? What are your thoughts about Sebastian's mom? Do you believe she's the last person to see Sebastian before he disappeared?
I'd say yes. I mean, he was in her house. She's the one that put him to bed. She'd be the last person to have seen him.
Exactly.
What do you think about that thud noise that she described, the rustling that was going on? I thought about it. I've looked at the house. His room is on the first floor, right? So his window is accessible from the outside.
It would be, I believe, but I know law enforcement went around the house and stated that none of the windows or screens had been tampered with.
Before.
So as for the thud, I mean,
let me tell you something. If why can't they charge Kay with negligence? They won't. They won't. I mean, I don't know if you ever seen Summer Wells's case or not. You want to talk about negligence? Jeez.
I don't know what she would classify as a thud. If I heard something in his room I know I'd go check on him just because I want to make sure he's okay. I mean, he's got a medical condition that would definitely mean I need to go check on him just to make sure he's okay.
And have you spoken with his mom about that night at all? Have you had any sort of conversation, either just the two of you or with other people there?
Have not had a conversation with her just alone, and probably won't.
Why is that?
Because every time I want to speak to her, I'm going to have to speak to Chris.
Chris is the guard dog, right? He is the guard dog. And you would think that, you know, speaking about your child, nothing would come between Katie and Seth on that. But then you've got this, right? Why won't you speak, Christopher? Sugar water. Sugar water. You need another pet cat.
Chris wasn't there. I don't know why he needs to be involved in a conversation about what.
Yeah. Great point. You weren't there, were you, CP? You weren't there. You were, you know, in Mississippi driving around. Driving like I bet you that's how he felt. I bet you that's how CP felt after allegedly not sleeping that night, since he was up on the phone so late with KK and all through the night. And then the next morning, he's supposedly at work until 11:30. I bet you he was.
Back in that night. And if he was on a phone call, then maybe he can tell us what the thud was.
How about the rest of the day leading up to the point that Sebastian got home? Who was the last person other than his mom to see him? And have you spoken with that person?
No, I guess the last person to see him besides mom would be, you know, the waitress at at Texas Roadhouse.
And Tony, as we try to track and figure out who interacted with Sebastian, where he could have gone, how this could have happened. From your perspective, what are the lingering questions that you see in this case as well?
Well, if you're talking about that situation specifically, Vinny, I mean, clearly she was the last person that was seen with him. There has been no evidence that he ever left the house on his own. So,
of course, DNA. Yes, he never left the house on his own. This is when CP went to pick up KK when his job was up in the air, allegedly, and whenever they were getting ready to go to Memphis.
You're coming with me.
What?
It's a long trip. I'll need a snack.
there we have it, kids.
In my mind, what would be the opposite of him leaving the house on his own? It would be leaving the house with somebody. Well, the only somebody, admittingly, by Katie, that was in that house was her. So clearly we have some questions there. But my bigger question as Seth's spokesperson, and where I would ask Court TV to give us some assistance is, we have video evidence that shows that Seth was at work. We've had all of his electronic devices that have been seized and dumped. We'd like to know why.
Yes, video evidence, Seth being at work. His bosses came out and said it. His videos or all of his electronics have been taken, dumped.
Seth still hasn't been cleared, or what they might need from Seth and or myself to get him cleared.
They are not, as much as I would love for them to clear him, they're just not. They're just not. Because 15 in snacks. Yes. Come on, guys. Please hit that thumbs up. We need a chicken party. You don't want to miss the chicken party. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We need 10 more to 700. 10 more. I mean, it's a clucking good time. That's all I got to say.
So they have not cleared. I didn't realize that. I just didn't realize that was the situation. So
not at all.
So my guess is if they haven't cleared him, that may explain some of the lack of communication that is going back and forth in this case.
Good possibility. But what more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m. till after 7 a.m. the next morning.
You know who's not? This tells a lot, in my opinion. You know who's not demanding to be cleared? There's two people who's not demanding to be cleared. They already say they're cleared. And they said that they were cleared at their first interview. Who's that? KK and KP. Or CP and KK, rather. Why aren't they pounding their fist? Saying, clear me so we can get on with it. Clear me. What do you need from me to clear me? Seth is there. You want the video? You want my boss, right? You've got all my electronics. What can I give you? Now, again, I still don't think it's going to clear him, but nonetheless, just the optics of CP and KP says a lot. Ding, 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 Maxine. Ding, ding, ding. Yep. I agree 100.
My son should be with me right now. He should be in this house, and I should not be looking for him. Tell me where
Governor Pincus, I hear people, say that I don't even know what to think anymore. To me, it's very, very relatively simple as far as, in my opinion, what is making it stink so bad, right? Where the smell is coming from, right? And it is coming from a stepdad who has had a really rocky relationship, it appears, from their words, with Sebastian. It is very clear that, CP saying he thought he was going to get me kicked out of my house. Right? It's very clear that there is no scent of a child walking out. There is nothing to suggest that he did, or even that there's nothing to even suggest that he even would do something like that of the night. But then there's this random car that parks on the side of the road, not going to anyone's house. And then there's a couple figures. Okay. Justin, I agree with you. I don't know why it's taking so long and you can't find one hair or one micro hair of evidence. This is the thing. If there is a hair of Sebastian's in, for instance, Chris's car, Katie's car, well, he lived with them. He lived with them. Right? That's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. And that's why he's going to have to be found, or someone is going to have to admit something, or there's going to have to be enough digital evidence that the state would feel confident that he would no longer be, alive. That's the only way this gets solved. And I'll be honest with you, wherever Sebastian is, in my opinion, he is hid extremely well. Hair as in the smallest piece of evidence. Right, okay. Right. I mean, it's got to paint a picture, right? The state has to paint a picture. Point A, point B, point C, right? Right. 1700 hours. KP and Sebastian come home, right? 1730 hours. There's a phone call, right? And they've got to paint this out, how it happened, how it occurred at 2300 hours. CP got in his vehicle from such and such, traveling, so it's got to, before they are going to do anything, they're going to have every warrant, everything in lockstep. Now, in my opinion, there is some key factors where I think law enforcement really messed up. And I don't think it was particularly in this case. It's not just this case. I think many times, I think legislation needs to be done that when a child goes missing, you don't just, you assume, but you do, okay, we'll say that he walked out. We'll work that, but we're also, you're getting your ass out of the house right now, and this is now, we don't know what happened, so we need to preserve this house, right? There needs to be 2 barrels going as fast as they can, investigating what the parent says, which usually is the case. But in these cases, this happens, time is wasted, and therefore really screws up. It can really screw up the case. Second thing is, I think that really made a big difference is they allowed, in my opinion, CP to leave the home and go back within less than approximately 48 hours and be gone overnight. Because at that point, they thought a little boy, 15 years old, walked out. Right? So there's that. Hey, Serenity, thank you so very much. This is the first case I have followed on YouTube, and boy, did I pick a doozy of a case. I have followed this pretty much from the beginning. I do not think anything was fishy until I heard no scent of him leaving the house. Serenity, I agree. Whenever you hear a case, you take it by its word, right? But then you hear there was these, there was no scent of him. What do you mean? That's impossible. He's barefooted. It's cold outside, right? He didn't take his shoes. There's nothing of him on video, and there's nothing at all. And then you hear of things that was going inside the house, right? There was a lot happening within KP's and CP's lives, right? So, yes, I think that is, in my opinion, what led it up. Debbie, thank you so much for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. Thank you, my dear. All right, let's get on the train. Beep, beep, mother chickens.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
To the lesser fight, my body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
Thank you, my dear, for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, please thank our beloved Debbie 357. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate your support. And thank you, Serenity. Thank you guys so very much. Your applications have been approved. Thank you so much, Julie B. Cleared of what? No charges, no foul play yet. Well, they have not ruled out foul play. They have not ruled out foul play. And if you cannot internally say that, if you cannot clear a man who says he was in a different state and a man who said he was in a jail in nearly 6 months, then that's a problem. Someone else needs to be doing their job. If you cannot clear those two people, right? And they have not ruled out foul play at all. They've not ruled that up. But they haven't said, this is very typical of TBI. And it is so frustrating because they don't tell the public anything. And people's like, well, take their word. Well, they don't tell you anything. That's the entire aggravation of the TBI, right? It just is. And it stinks to high heaven. The way things that was happening before Sebastian disappeared, things that was happening in that home that CP and KP has admitted to, and God only knows what is in the records, the mostly redacted records that is Seth got, but he, I'm sure found out a lot even after that. So there's that. Abigail, welcome. Thank you so much, my dear, for becoming a pearl. Pearls look amazing on you. Oh, you got a little one. So cute. That's amazing. Congratulations, my dear. Thank you so much for your support, Abigail. Really do appreciate it. Y'all, please welcome Abigail to our strand of pearls. The fact that they're not clearing anyone speaks volumes, because you can't clear people. The fact that they're not clearing anyone speaks volumes, because you can't clear people if it is in fact a runaway. Well, you can say, they can say, well, we think he ran away, so we now suspect no foul play. They can say that, right? They're keeping this very close to the vest. You're not looking in a landfill 7 days. Okay, I'll look that up. Thank you for that. Play this right here. Oh, wrong one.
I don't gain anything from this. This is not funny. The fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? Do they need my bank records? You can have them. I don't understand what I have to do to get cleared.
We're willing to do anything to get cleared, Vinnie.
Go ahead, Tony.
There are resources.
Yeah, we're willing to do anything to work with them to get him cleared, because it does allow us to bring in more resources once he's clear. And if the video evidence, the
right.
phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, why is it that he hasn't been cleared?
To me, by law enforcement's words, right? They've said, okay, the parents said that mom said that Sebastian ran away, and we've been looking all of this time. We haven't found him. We have no evidence of him leaving the home, right? No scent of Sebastian leading us to anything, anywhere. The Subaru Steve guy is not. That, from what I understand, was allegedly a lie. Again, I don't know, but from what I understand, that is allegedly a lie, and Katie never said that she was interviewing with him. Yes, Cindy, why? Yep, it was a clickbait, was what it was. That's from what I understand. Yep. Which is very disappointing. Very disappointing. Yep. Yep, a hoax. Exactly. I wonder if Seth hounded law enforcement. Yeah. Yeah, he was a bad person in Congress. Cindy.
He did a polygraph test with a well-known FBI polygrapher that Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So, you know,
we're out of time, unfortunately. Tony, I'm sorry I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but thank you both for joining us. We'll still look for those answers as the investigation continues.
Yeah, Abigail, I'm the one that put that one out. I had a very good source on that. I was muted, sorry. First mute of the day. Not too bad, not too bad. I watched a video of Subaru Steve earlier, and he said tomorrow he is talking to her, not with her, and invited to join tomorrow if she wants. Now, is that what he said all along? If it is, then that's fair. But the way I took it, that he was saying something like he was having her on. I just want to. What is that? It was yesterday. Care to. Okay. So he put, join me Tuesday live on YouTube as I talk to Katie Proudfoot. So he meant, okay, that was a really bad way to miss it, because it made it seem like he was speaking to her. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Serenity, for sure. Sapphire, thank you as well, my dear Justin. What is your email, please? And do you know who Peace Justin? Yes. Yes, I do. What's the friend's? What's her? I got her best friend's name. I can't remember it. Here, I'll drop it. Address, KP, and even that can be left open to him. Oh, he just put, join me Tuesday live on YouTube as I talk to Katie Proudfoot about easing the pain only a mother can feel with the loss of a child and dream of nightmares she must be enduring, as well as fear the others involved. So I get what you're saying. God, people are being really rude. Being really so yeah, I was like, Katie's gonna talk to somebody. Justin, that's not what he put. What did he put? I'm sorry, but I believe CP would take the fall for KP because he wants a certain CP would take the fall for KP because he wants a certain little girl, somebody to take care of her while the little girl he was working. Doesn't he have anti-clickbait videos? I don't know. I've never heard of him until this. She's going to discuss CP getting his warrant against BHB. If CP takes the fall, he can have a little girl. I don't think CP would take the fall for anybody. Anybody. Except maybe his mama. He might do it for his mama. Watch The Reckoning. I wish we could watch The Reckoning. What's that? Think you will know where she's on about. Oh no, Carol. Nobody's being rude to me in chat, honey. Nobody's being rude to me in chat. If they did, I didn't see it. We rarely get anyone like, you know. I was talking about someone I was reading about. Yeah. Oh, the ruckus video. Why can't Katie talk to Seth? She absolutely can. She chooses not to. She just chooses not to. They can pass lie detector test, depends on how and what they are questioned. In other words, never there are questions. We don't even know they've taken one. The only one we know have taken one is Seth Rogers. That's it. That's it. Now Chris allegedly got one on the Bedra, the Bullhorn Bedra. I was gonna say something. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do the other side, the other part tomorrow. Thank you so much, Carol Johnson. Really sweet to me. Sebastian was smart and they wasn't able to hide. I think that they want to keep him silent on something, in my opinion, right? They didn't want him in any activities or anything. I don't know. Yes. Yeah. This fan is giving me a cold. I need to go do some stuff. Oh, thank you, Carol. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm going to the countryside to find 2 of these warrants being spoke about. To the county side, rather. Site, because I can read. Sorry. Warrants. I don't know. Cold and wet in PA. It's cool and wet here too. Pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. I don't know. I want to make some vegetable soup soon. That's what I want to do. I want to make some vegetable soup when it starts getting a little bit cooler. Our leaves are already starting to turn. It's so weird. Like it's August still. And like you see on the side of the highway, there's trees that are already turning. I guess where it's been so dry and hot. You made chili tonight. That sounds really good. Got a new corner. Oh no, that's been there for ages. It's been there for ages. I'm usually just probably in front of it. There leaves on the ground in PA. Wow. Yeah, comfort food. I love fall. But I dread winter. I freaking hate winter. I hate winter. If I could stay inside all winter and it was still sunny outside with a foot of snow, I wouldn't mind. I don't like the dreariness though, and I don't like the short days. And I don't like everyone getting sick either. But other than that, I love the winter. I hate the winter. Manifesting the fall season. Yeah. You love fall and winter. Fall is such a beautiful time of year. Yeah, I don't like it gets dark at 4:30 in the evening, in the afternoon, really, the late afternoon. Hatter's Madness. I mainly grow monkey tail cactus and different types of cactus. But I have all kinds of plants. So I try to, I like the sun. CP drives a GMC. I think he drives a Chevrolet. Oh, thank you, my dear. You just put on a. Oh, you grow orchids, Sandy? I have some orchids. The orchids you have to. I thought about doing a plant channel. I probably should. But the orchids you have to get. They have to get a cold spell, not cold, but cool spell before they'll bloom again. Most people, people that just buy a pretty orchid. But anytime I see like orchids that, at this, the supermarket that are on clearance because they don't got a bloom or anything like that. They're like $3. I'll pick them up or whatever because I know how to make them bloom again and make them pretty. Rescue plants from the market, yeah. I heard today that the Wells aren't charged with neglect or endangering children as a deal to make them sign it over. Yep, Lori, that's probably right. Because if you don't sign them over in Tennessee, they will charge you. Water lilies. Please go watch and recap on Gannon's case. I can't do Gannon, Tammy. I can't do Gannon. There are some cases that it's really hard for me to do cases that when I hear a child in distress and I hear it, like, I don't know, it triggers me. Especially like Gannon saying, are we going to be able, I can't remember exactly what it is, but he's like, talking about the financials, like, are we going to make it this month or whatever? I was raised really poor, and I think it just fucking breaks my heart. I can't listen to it. I can't hear it because that little boy was the sweetest kid, and all he wanted to do was to make that fucking monster stop. Yeah. The burns on the carpet or whatever. She is the most sick, twisted human. And after she unalived Gannon, she drove his remains across the country. The burns was it a candle? A candle in the carpet, and he's like, the cash. Yeah, that one was a really bad one too. She's Gabriel Hernandez, yes. Yeah. There's some really bad cases out there. I think the worst case that I have heard of is sorry, I can't think of. Oh, hi. Shit, I'm sorry, it's my alarms today. Give me a second. Dakota Collins. Dakota Collins. Dakota Collins. Yeah. It's a bad one. Bad one. Harmony was a bad one, a really bad one. Yeah, Dakota Collins. Oh my God. But there was one that I was that dad Ard his son with a table leg. Doberman, yeah. And hot sauce and just killed Daryl Brooks. He was a lunatic. He was lunatic. Yes. Yeah, I did. You knew Debbie? Miss Chris, I would like to hear your thoughts. That's something that's never set right in my heart, to be honest with you. I'm just telling you my opinion. You may tell me, but I just don't think she did that by herself. She seemed like a very sweet person. Chris is the male version that interviews. Yeah, Chris is the male version. Boo Sheet, if you go to my Justin for All channel, type in Dakota Collins, there is the dad. I've got the dad's interrogation. So bad. It's so bad. Yeah, I covered Debbie extensively, but I don't believe in that guy. That case is just, it's not done. I'm telling you. She did not do that. I know she didn't do it. And she did not do that. She did not do that. I wonder, telling you, why they don't bring CB. You don't have to be interrogated. Right? You just say, I wish to keep my mouth closed and plead the fifth. Or you just have to say, I plead the fifth or attorney. That's it. It's over. You make the cops work harder when you do that. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you all. I will be. Did you hear about the parents cooking their child in the oven? Yeah. There was a new case, Miranda Sips. Oh, I haven't seen that DNA. I'll look that up. All right, guys, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Did we get to 1,000? Did we get to 1,000? Thumbs up. Okay, I'll give you the chicken. But don't get used to it if we don't get to 1,000.
Katie! Christopher! Katie! Christopher!
You're coming with me.
Katie! Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! Katie! Christopher! Oh, Grace! Oh, Grace! Christopher! Christopher! Oh, Grace! Christopher! Christopher! Oh, Grace! Grace!
Give me sugar, water. More, 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 More.
Hey, your skin is hanging off your bones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all right, guys. Thank you all so much. I might be back in a little bit. I can't be too long because I have to be up at 5:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday. But I will most likely be live at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if you are an early bird, I'll be live. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, Annie also looks like, what was the clown? What was the serial unaliver? Yes, he's a dictator too, because he's a dick and he looks like a tater. You're the best at that. All right, guys. Good night. Love you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. You could have chosen to be anywhere in the world, anywhere on YouTube, and you chose to be right here. Good night. God bless.